Every time I click start streaming, I'm always paranoid that it's not going to start, but I think it usually has been okay,
I'm pretty sure it always
right?
starts.
It always starts,
Hi.
so it's okay. Hello, people. Yeah, welcome to English with Mark and Matt.
I'm Matt.
So,
He's Mark.
yeah, just so you know.
What are we doing
So,
today, Mark?
I thought we'd go over something that my students find very confusing, and that's countable and uncountable nouns. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not
Is it?
not an easy thing to learn, and it's not an
Mm,
easy thing to teach.
yeah, they I was teaching the class this week, and especially when I was like coffee, yeah, coffee, a cup you can count, like, but coffee you can't. They're like coffee, one, two, three. No, 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 no. Right? It's very confusing.
Uh, well, it depends.
Yeah,
It
it
depends
depends.
if
It
you're
all
if you're
depends.
teaching elementary English,
Yeah.
then yeah, we can't count coffees. Okay,
This
like
is yeah.
like
You have a
one coffee.
mm,
No, actually, we can't say that. Two coffees. No, we can't say that.
mm.
We have to say two cups of coffee.
Just like rice.
Two bowls of rice.
Two bowls of rice.
But
That's
once
good.
you get to a higher level,
Then you're like, boom, two rice.
two.
If I was in a Chinese restaurant, I want. Can I get two rice? Two, yeah. The little metal containers of
Yeah,
rice.
yeah.
You know?
Well, especially in Singapore, where
Yeah.
we tend to speak
We
a
simplify all the grammar.
little bit of broken English. Yeah,
Mm.
two rice, please. And tea. Two rice, can or not? Mm.
Can. Yeah. Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But if I go to
Two.
Starbucks, or maybe not
Mm.
Starbucks, but a place that serves coffee, I can say two coffees, por favor.
Yes. Oh, nice Spanish.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Two coffees, please. I can say
Mm.
that, no problem.
So
But in elementary, beginner, no.
yeah. So
Two
for
cups of coffee is better. It's technically correct English.
yeah, technically better English. So I guess today this is for our more beginner learners, our elementary learners, where we'll be showing you some of the basics of countable and uncountable. So if you're a more advanced student, I know this will probably be very easy for you, but it's okay if you still have questions, or if there are any specific words where you're not sure. Maybe you're like, uh, if I say, I don't know, what's a word I might not, yeah, like apple juice. Or you're like, apple juice, is that okay? Can I count? Not count? Again, we'll try to help you with that.
Yeah. Don't worry,
Yeah.
we can help you.
Yeah, but for now, I'll start with the easier version for our newer students, and then maybe at the end I'll have Matt come back and give us some more fun tips.
Well, yeah, basically,
Yeah.
and then Mark will be introducing you to our secret project.
Oh, secret.
It's not secret.
It's not secret. It's
Mark and I
Mm.
are tirelessly
Mm.
designing a online video course
Mm.
on udemy.com, which is a
Udemy.
place where you can learn anything
Do I
for a nominal
have nominal fee? Oh, I don't have Udemy up here. What? Yeah,
We do not have Udemy there, but Mark can show you that.
I can make Udemy appear possibly if I shrink us. Oh, well, that meant
It's okay.
I gotta.
My face.
Oh, there's Udemy. Yeah, good. You see, if we look at Udemy, there's my face on the top. It's
So
called
Mark and I,
yeah,
Mark
it's-
and Matt and Mark, we will be making a
Yeah, we'll be
Udemy course.
making a Udemy course. Udemy's like this. They have a bunch of different courses that you can try. But yeah, Matt and I will start. We're starting to create our own course in the near future. Of course, the ones I look at are like grammar. I don't know why they are advertising Pilates for me, but right, there's a lot of different English speaking courses on this site. So in the near future, we're going to be making our own course to help some of you with some of your questions that you might have about English.
And we'll be starting
Yeah.
from the basic stuff like subject, I, we, you, they,
Yeah.
he, she, it, and then we will move our way up to
the
all the
more
advanced and
more complex stuff,
difficult stuff.
right? So we'll
Yeah.
be doing that over the next couple weeks, months, and then
So Mark's
Yeah.
going to give you a preview now
of our
of our countable and uncountable slides. So
our system.
feedback would be amazing.
Yeah, if you comment below, if you so the way we teach, if you like this style on the computer, let us know. If you don't like it, let us know what you think we can improve, and we will be trying to improve our videos every time. So any advice you have, we'd love to hear from you.
Yes. So yeah, Mark,
Yeah, we can get going, right?
take it away.
So
I'll chime in if I have to.
Yeah, I'll switch over to one of our examples, right? Like I said, as I did with my students, we had countable, uncountable, right? Countable, uncountable. Yeah, right here. Good. Looks like my face is in line, and we'll get started. All right, countable, uncountable nouns. A lot of you have already studied this, but again, this is a good review for you to check. Countable, uncountable. So, the first thing we think whenever we're choosing if something is countable or uncountable is to check. Can you count it? Can you count it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you count whatever noun you're thinking of, right? Here I have an apple. Apple, can you count an apple? Right? I think Matt would agree.
Yes.
We can, right? We can count. That's one apple. One apple. A apple. Or an apple. I don't know why it's so tough. I mess up an apple. An apple. That's why we have to study grammar, right?
Even native speakers.
Even native speakers have trouble sometimes. I'm like, apple? No, an apple. Because that's one of the special ones we have, right? Between our singular and plural, our one and two, for words that are special, ones that start with a vowel, A, E, I, O, U, we have to change. We cannot say a apple. We have to say an apple. Or orange, right? Orange, O. An orange, an apple. All of those, right? So if it is singular, we have to do the an. Or something like a phone, a book, a phone, a TV, right?
A teacher.
A teacher, one teacher, only, right? Only two teachers, but one teacher, a teacher, we do a teacher. But if I go back to this phone, right? The phone I have in the picture is actually an iPhone. So for iPhone, we do an iPhone because of the I, right? An iPhone. These ones are our counting ones. And an. Okay? We don't use these with plurals. Okay? If we say 2, 3, 4, we're not going to use these. If we have 2 apples, 3 apples, 4 apples, 2 phones, 3 phones, 4 phones, we won't use the a or an. We will be using only the s, right? I have 2 apples. I have an apple. I have 2 apples. I have a phone. I have 2 phones. Okay? So that's the basics of countable nouns. Now, if we go on to uncountable nouns, these nouns, they don't change whenever we count, because we can't count them. We don't change these words. For example, if we have things like water or air, we don't end it with an S. We don't say waters. We'll keep it as water, right? And we also don't use a or an. Even if it's air, air starts with A, so are we like an air? Is that good?
No.
An air? No, right?
Good.
An air doesn't work. We have to keep it as air, right? That's an uncountable noun, so forget about those changes we made with the countable nouns. And our examples below, I have a pile of rice. A pile of rice. So here's the rice. If we say rice only, no a. Or water, no a. Here I have a bucket. I say I have a bucket of sand. For sand, we never say a sand. Right? For sand, we'll only say sand.
Some.
Or
Sand.
some sand, right?
Lot of
Which brings
sand.
us to,
Oh.
boom, our next slide where we have some and any. Okay, some and any we can use with both. We can use it for things we count and for things we don't count. So here's some examples. Some is always used for our positive sentences. With countable, things like apples, right? I have some apples. Just be careful here. If you only have one apple, we don't say some. We can say I have an apple. Some is used for a small amount. If you have 3, that's okay. I have some apples. Okay? And something like coffee, water, anything that's a drink, we can say I drank some coffee. Right? I ate some rice. I breathed in some air.
I need some air.
I what? I need some air. I need some air. Yes, that's a good, more advanced phrase, right? So those are our examples here. And then last, let's just go through the negatives, right? So some is positive. I have some. But what if we don't have some, right? What if we don't? I don't have any, right? If you have 0 apples, where are my apples? I don't have any apples. Do you have any apples, right? So our negatives and questions, we will use any, right? Again, there's my apple. Apple, here's I have an apple, but then boom, I don't have any apples. Do you have any apples? For coffee, right? Oh, there's my coffee. You're like, oh, I don't have any coffee. Do you have any coffee? So just keep that in mind. Remember, some I have, right? It's a positive. For any, negative, or for questions. Okay? So let's review for everybody out there. Start with countable again. Remember, countable, we have 2 different forms. We have the singular and we have the plural. They change. Singular, we're using the a or an. For plural, we're using the s to make that to change the number, right? One apple, an apple, 2 apples. Or for the right side, we have, again, our uncountable, things we don't count. We don't have singular. We don't have plural. No a, no s. We keep it as water. If we want to talk about something we count, again, we have a cat, 2 cats. Water, a little bit different, right? We keep it as I have water. You like my cats? Yeah. I have 2 cats.
Some examples.
I have 2 imaginary cats. And some examples. And here I have water. What happens if there's 0 water? What can we say? I don't have water. Or I don't have any water. Right? Our any. Some don't have any. So that's it for our mini example lesson from today. I hope that was helpful for some of you. Again, if you can give us any feedback below, how you think it went. Even things like, oh, you're too fast. I was confused. I wasn't sure about that at 5 minutes. I wasn't sure about that example. You can give us some advice, and we'd really appreciate it. I know some of you who watch are teachers as well. If you have any advice, I'd really appreciate it. Students, any advice, we really would appreciate it. I think Matt's looking right now. I think we got a wave from Sophia, but I guess the rest of you will catch this video sometime later in the week, and that's perfectly fine. I'll switch back to my Matt and Mark mode.
No, it's just like you said, do you have any feedback?
Yeah.
Feedback is an uncountable noun.
Ah, feedback.
For our advanced students.
Yeah, right? Yeah, you can't say 2 feedbacks, 3 feedbacks. We say...
News, information.
Yeah.
We can't... Advice, right? Can you give me some advice?
Yeah.
Do you have any advice? So
Yeah.
Mark just naturally said, do you have any feedback?
Yeah.
And that was just a good use of naturally slipping uncountable
Slipping it
nouns.
in, yeah. And our more advanced students learn that a lot of those words, once you put them in a container, you can count them. You can have a piece of feedback, right?
You can have
Or
a cup of coffee.
A cup of coffee. You can have a balloon, which is a container of air. A balloon?
Technically, yes.
Yeah, it's like
balloon of air.
a balloon of air. I don't know.
Goes an abstract.
Well, a helium balloon. Yeah, a balloon full of helium. Yeah, a balloon full of air. Yeah. So
Yep.
we're going a little bit overboard, but
Well,
it's
simple
okay.
things like a piece of paper.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Piece of information.
Paper.
A packet of crisps,
Delicious.
which is what the British would
The
say.
British. Yeah.
A bag of chips.
Or my students had trouble with cabbage. They were like, "Why can't you count cabbage?" I was like, "Well, if it's a head of cabbage,
Is it a head?
I think is it a head of lettuce?
You say a head of lettuce, but is it a head of cabbage?
A cranium of, no, of cabbage. I don't know what cabbage. Okay, you cooks down below tell us is it head of cabbage? But yeah, we count cabbage if we say a head of cabbage, right? Or the plant, right? We can count the plants, but cabbage as like in your salad, we don't count. So again, that's our
It's a head of cabbage.
ending rambling for those of you who have stuck around this long. But I guess
I googled it. Head of cabbage.
it is head of cabbage. Okay,
Yes.
our instincts prevailed.
Yes. Head
Good.
of lettuce, head of cabbage. Anyway, yeah, so
But
that's
yeah.
a quick introduction to our Udemy course.
Mhm.
We plan to get that up on Udemy in July 2018, but that was 4 months ago.
We planned. Okay, yeah, that was a past tense.
Well, that was just a joke.
Yeah, a joke. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
So
we're already several months behind schedule, but it's taking a long time, and we want to make it
Yeah.
not perfect, but good.
yeah, good enough that you will be able to benefit a lot from it. So as we roll them out, we'll be telling some students about it, and of course, any of you watching now, if you're curious, feel free to message us as well, and we'll give you some more info for the future release.
Yeah. And we might be giving it away for free to some people.
Yeah, if you like and subscribe, no, or if you do your eyebrows, we can both do our eyebrows. We both have thick eyebrows, don't we?
We do.
The more you know.
Can you
Okay.
move your ears?
No, I can't move my ears. See, this is how we know we've been on a little bit too long. So,
Okay. Bye.
on that note, we'll
See you tomorrow.
see you tomorrow in class.
Go count some stuff
Don't be late. Yeah, you can count on it.
and do your homework. Also uncountable.
Yes.